As you already know, in his book, NASA Mooned America, Ralph René used 3 colour photos, one from Apollo 14 and 2 from Apollo 16. The most prominent anomaly in this Apollo 16 photograph is a lump of rock that is clearly embedded with a capital letter C.
Somebody told me that in Hollywood when they do a set, the set manager comes around and drops cards on the ground, and it says A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, or 1 to 10 or whatever, and the prop men, whatever you call these people, they come out and they put that particular prop over the card. But in Hollywood, they're smart enough to turn the thing upside down so you can't see the mark on the prop.
What a coincidence that there should just happen to be another C directly below that rock. Not only was the prop label left visible, but also the marker. After the first printing of the book, Ralph René tried to get duplicates of the photos. As he predicted, NASA had found a way to make them difficult to obtain. Case in point, all NASA photographs are individually numbered.
They changed all the frickin' numbers after I brought my book out. And then they lost the crossover list. Did you ever hear of anything like that? Those numbers that got printed so boldly under those photographs?
Yeah, no, I noticed those.
They were gone.
Yeah.
We just took them away and substituted others. And what are the others? Well, we lost it.
Later, in 1999, René tried again to get the photographs. He was told that Barra King Studios in Maryland now supplied NASA's photos. Still unable to get NASA's new numbers, René sent them black and white scans of the pictures in question.
And then of course, I got, instead of, when I reordered, we finally found it. I ordered an 8x10 glossy. I got a 5x6 or 5x7 with everything airbrushed out.
Yeah.
It seems NASA took that extra step by removing the incriminating evidence from their pictures. Though curiously, the C on the ground was still apparent. Since 2001, propagandists across the World Wide Web have jumped on this, claiming that photos with the letter C absent are the originals, and that any picture showing this letter is simply a unique misprint. That a hair got caught on the negative when the guys at the Lunar and Planetary Institute were making prints of the image. Interestingly, many of these propagandists present this response as common knowledge. But there are a small few who actually give a footnote for this finding. On his webpage regarding this photograph, Jay Winderley tells us,
in 2001, Steve Troy of LunarAnomalies.com undertook a lengthy investigation. After obtaining transparencies from different sources connected with NASA, he failed to see the mark either on the masters used prior to 1997 or on the new masters.
And just, who is this Steve Troy character? What is his background? His website, Lunar Anomalies, may sound like an Apollo hoax debunk website, but it's not. The lunar anomalies in question are so-called anomalies in photos taken by Apollo and even unmanned craft, suggesting evidence of ancient alien activity. Don't get me wrong, I have no reason to doubt the possibility of life elsewhere in space. But reading through this website, Troy's evidence for such is pathetic at best. He has demonstrated little to no photoanalysis skills, and some of his theories are just plain wrong. It's also worth noting that Troy's website is partly run by Richard Hoagland, famous for analysing photos of the Moon and Mars for signs of alien civilizations.
I have real data on real NASA pictures with real pedigrees that say that there are ruins out there that we have not been told about.
Phil Plait rightly regards Hoagland as a kook. yet doesn't mind plagiarizing his partner's flawed theories for the sea rock photo.
This is just a hair that got caught in the negative when they were making prints of this picture. In the original negative, you can see that that rock is not labeled C. The hair wasn't in there. So this is just a ridiculous claim.
Like Windley, it seems Robert Brainig also gives Mr. Troy credit for unmasking the sea rock, but apparently does not want to be associated with his other findings.
Lunar Anomalies does a very good job of debunking the moon hoax theory, but the authors also believe Apollo astronauts uncovered ancient extraterrestrial artifacts on the moon, which is a conspiracy theory that I choose not to delve into.
And just where do Mr. Troy and Mr. Hoagland do a great job of disproving the hoax theory? The first article that Brainig offers pulls up this insightful argument regarding the giant lights seen reflected in the astronauts' visors during lunar EVA.
Our explanation for this remarkable observation is firmly grounded in our investigation of the real conspiracy that NASA has worked so hard for over 40 years to cover up the presence of ancient glass-like ruins on the moon. It is these ruins, sticking up above the lunar horizon and physically intervening between the low-angle sun and the Apollo astronauts roaming across the surface, which create the magnified halo of scattered light seen in the gold visors.
I've always been amazed that all propagandists wouldn't dare trust the photo analysis of a man who doubts that the moon landings happened. But they would rather praise the photo analysis of an alien hunter with zero experience in such a field, especially considering that his lack of photo analysis skills is commonplace in the hair on the negative claim they wish to endorse. Steve Troy claims that when magnified, the top portion of this supposed hair can be seen casting a shadow. The shadow that Troy refers to is nothing more than an uneven trail left by a marker pen. Marker pens have a slanted tip, and ink trails left by these pens will come out thicker or thinner depending on how much of the tip was pressing against the surface. Notice how the thick trail of ink narrows in some parts but widens elsewhere. When the stagehands marked these props, the marker pen was probably pressing more thoroughly against the papier-mâché when they were drawing the top curve in the letter C, creating what Troy misinterpreted as a shadow. As we've just demonstrated, the sea rock was discussed on a recent Penn & Teller episode.
Somehow, this guy put the C up. He had a whole bunch of ways he could have put that rocket. He put it with the C up because that is a definite capital C. So the prop man blew it. This is not the moon. This is a set, period.
The producers had promised René a copy of the episode, but they never kept their word.
Oh, I never saw that. Them bastards promised me a copy too, and I never saw it.
Well, they did show you with copies of your book and your website, but I tell you what they did do, right? They also tried to make fun of you as well.
Of course.
Here's a short list of some of the things that they said.
You're stapling your book together by hand. No wonder space-age technology seems impossible to you.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
He keeps his water in a vodka bottle and labels it with a capital V.
They were just, mocking the sea rock thing.
In other words, they were shooting when they weren't supposed to be shooting. That's what they did.
Alright. Mm-hmm. So you had no idea that you were on camera then, or?
Well, I use those vodka bottles to hold my water. Because I need bottles to hold my water. I make my own water, Jarrah.
Uh-huh.
I ain't drunk that city shit for years. That stuff's pure poison. There's always fluorine in it, even when they're lying to you about it. Then there's chlorine in it, which who the hell needs chlorine in their system? You know, in Europe they use peroxide, which enhances your health. Here they tell you, it's poison, you're drinking, you'll die.
But let's get back to that supposed prop rock.
Here's what they have to say. They actually said stuff about the sea rock on that program as well. To get this, they say that the version of the sea rock, without the sea on the rock, they say that that's the original printing.
Oh, and I faked mine.
They say that's just a hair that got caught on the negative, the sea.
Get the fuck out of there. I found that picture in an old space technology book that dated back to, oh my God, about 75 or something. The same sea rock is visible as hell.
The space technology book that René refers to was listed in his bibliography. It was titled The Illustrated Encyclopedia of Space Technology, published in 1981.